interesting and power-packed sessions, which will start on a little lighter note, followed by an address from our CHRO and a fireside chat conversation with our global CFO. The summit will also conclude with a very interesting and our flagship award ceremony, which is Prerna Awards, wherein we recognize women entrepreneurs. We also have created a very interesting and a unique learning format for you all through immersive sound of stories. So with that, I would like to welcome on stage Ms. Shikha Gupta, Director HR and DEI Schneider Electric, and Mr. Ramesh Ranjan, Vice President, NHRD Bangalore Chapter, for the welcome address. Please give them a big round of applause. Before we begin with the welcome address, I would request the hotel staff to please come in for the safety briefing.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Manglu, Loss Prevention Executive of the hotel. Today I am going to brief you about the fire and life safety system and what action need to do in case of fire emergency. We have automatic hotel and public address system, which will man 24 hours and cover all area of the hotel. There is no fire drill planned for today on hearing hotel and public address system. Please do not panic. Please leave the hall through the fire exit. There are 7 fire exits in the hall. The safe and assembly point of the hotel is right next to the hotel main entrance gate. Thank you. Have a nice day. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Good morning. Am I audible? All right, great. My name is Shikha and my pronouns are she, her and hers. And I have with me Ramesh Ranjan.
Yeah, I'm Ramesh Ranjan. Good morning, everyone. Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome and a good morning to all of you all. We, on behalf of Schneider Electric and NHRD Bangalore, would like to thank you for taking your time off to be here, to spend the day with us, to understand how we can build a more inclusive workplace. We, Schneider Electric and NHRD, have come together to discuss one of the most pressing issues at the workplace and the society today, that is diversity and inclusion. It's no secret that the lack of diversity and inclusiveness is a long-standing challenge, and it is one that must be addressed head-on if we are to truly build an inclusive workplace and a society. As you're all aware, India is aspiring to be a $10 trillion economy by 2037, and this could only be possible with inclusive growth. We are a diverse country with diversity of thoughts and cultures, and it's very imperative that we leverage the uniqueness and the diversity of the various backgrounds in this country if we are to build a global, diverse and inclusive environment. Sundar Pichai, the CEO of Google, reiterates that a diverse mix of voice leads to better discussions, decisions and outcomes for everyone. According to a McKinsey research study, companies in the top 36% of the quartile are more likely to achieve financial results. Additionally, companies with diverse workforce have been able to achieve higher amounts of creativity and innovation. Furthermore, research from Deloitte found that organizations with inclusive cultures are 6 times more likely to be innovative and twice as likely to meet or exceed financial targets. These findings clearly demonstrate that DEI brings significant results both to the organizations and to the society. But despite knowing this, it is still a challenge in many organizations to ensure that we build an equitable and an inclusive workplace. According to Deloitte, only 12% of the employees surveyed think that enough is being done in terms of diversity in organizations. And many organizations are still struggling in terms of implementing DEI in true letter and spirit. This is why we have gathered today to address this very important issue. We would like to ensure that we share ideas, strategies, best practices for creating a diverse and inclusive workplace. Throughout this summit, we'll hear from experts in the field as well as from organizations through very innovative ways of communicating to you in the form of debates, in the form of theatres, and in terms of gaps to address the unconscious biases, recruit and retain diverse talent, and create a more inclusive workplace. All of you all to actively participate in the discussions, ask questions, more importantly, network with your fellow participants over here so that we can all come together and ensure that we build an inclusive and equitable workplace. Thank you, and now I hand you over to Shika to welcome all of you all from Schneider Electric. Thank you.
Thank you, Ranjan. Very well said. I'm hoping I'm still audible, and sorry if my picture and my face does not match and you're a bit disappointed with that. Well, I think Ranjan said it already. We all know there is a very strong business case for inclusion and equity in the workplaces. And yet we don't see the progress the way we could have seen or we would have seen after putting in so much of effort. So today we are hoping that through the conversations, through the sessions, through this very, very exciting agenda that we've put together, we will be able to learn from each other, share with each other, and maybe go back richer with some unique actionables that we are going to apply from tomorrow onwards. I always say this, action has to start now. Not day after, not next month, not next year, not next financial year, not next strategic meeting. Now, it has to start now. And that is my urge to all of you. Please participate, please share, please challenge us, please challenge yourself and challenge each other to do those actions, those little actions which will come together and make sure that we have a truly equitable society and workplaces. Just a quick thing about the theme, why evolve with purpose? So I have a very, very fantastic team working with me for almost 2 months now to put this together, along with the NHRD team, which have been very, very collaborative. And we thought that we are today at a juncture where there is lots that's being done. There are those small actions that are being done. And I know many of you here today, some of you know me, and I got to know some new people today. We will all agree that there are efforts for sure that are happening. And yet that leap is not happening. There is a purposeful evolution that is required. And our attempt today with this summit is to have those conversations, those dialogues, those sharing, which will help us evolve with purpose. And that is the context of this theme. I'm not going to take too much time because you must be wondering, okay, the introduction itself is going on and on forever. I'm going to just take a step back and tell you a bit about Schneider as well. We are an impact company. Leading with care and inclusion is a value that is embedded with us very, very deeply. We've been on this inclusion and care journey for many, many years now. At least so far as I remember, we've been on this journey. We've made some progress, we've had some learnings, and we're sure there is lots more that we can do in future. I'm going to show you a small video just to capture what all we've done so far, and then we will move on with the rest of the program. Can we have the video, please?
Human beings have always been driven to evolve. We constantly seek to improve our lives, our societies, and our world. But true evolution goes beyond just technological progress. At Schneider Electric, our effort is to build a world that is sustainable and provides equal opportunity for all. We embrace people from diverse walks of life, creating a world which is equitable for everyone, and lead with inclusion and care. At Schneider Electric, we believe in a workplace driven by a greater purpose of belonging.
We at Schneider Electric are very convinced that diversity at workplace is a strong business case. Diversity of gender, generations, regions, people with disabilities, varied background, orientation, etc. are all part of our inclusion focus in the company. At Schneider Electric, our leadership is committed to increase gender diversity at hiring, frontline management, and at leadership level. If I talk about gender diversity, we have various development programs for women like Urja for middle management, a very unique women employee networking and mentoring group called Women as Allies.
Beyond actions inside Schneider Electric, we want to have an impact in the societies we live in. Towards this, we have the Prerna Awards, where we recognize women entrepreneurs doing innovative, cutting-edge work. Jagriti is our school outreach program to encourage inclusive practices in the society at large.
With an enabling and gender-inclusive global family leave policy and daycare policy, I feel supported in balancing my work and family commitments.
I am grateful to have internal mentors within organization to support my career progress. I am glad to be working in a safe and inclusive environment that values diversity and recognizes the unique strengths and skills that I bring to the table.
I was on a career break for close to 3 years, and as a woman looking to get back into the game, it becomes a challenging ordeal. But thanks to her second innings program of Schneider Electric, that made my transition back to work as seamless as possible by providing ample opportunities, mentorship, training, flexibility, and strong network.
I'm a proud member of Schneider Electric India DI team, leading the disability inclusion piece for India region. We are committed to raise awareness and build an inclusive work culture by educating our employees, leaders, and hiring managers about people with disabilities, and simultaneously support our own employees with disability through our Allies program.
We walk the talk, and we've been recognized by multiple industry experts at both country and global levels. We invite everyone to connect with us, get to know more about us, and support us in building sustainable inclusion across the globe.
Okay, we have now come to the last part of our program, where I thought I'll first summarize what happened today. And wow, Shika, this was truly a very inclusive program, the way in which it was constructed and designed itself. Right? We had debates, we had awards, we had a comedy show, plus, of course, culminating with your drama. Some of the key takeaways I think we had today was, I'm not going to name who said what. Don't assume, ask questions. I think it was a very powerful statement made by one of the panelists. Many times we take things for granted, and therefore it's very important that we ask questions. A very interesting, unique practice I saw was about setting up a rejection committee, right? We have heard about selection committees day in and day out, but I very rarely heard about a rejection committee. And I think it was a great experiment by one of the panelists, and truly it helped in terms of improving diversity. And that it was a rejection committee headed by CEO. One of the business leaders also talked about, we need to experiment. When they asked about how do I go about implementing diversity, he said that we need to experiment and give it a try. Our friend from the LGBT community said, the onus is on the society and the business to recognize and embrace diversity. And I like the word, instead of calling LGBT, talked about queer community, the queer community, right? I think it's about time that we not look at them as just as the LGBT, but look at them in a different perspective as a queer community. He also said we need to be valued and respected for being different and not just a ritual ticker box. We need to be valued for what we bring to the table. And as Pavitra said, that it's just not an NGO, but it's an organization for profit. So therefore, we should look at these people for the value that they bring to the table, and then not just look at a ritual box. Deepa also talked about, let's start talking of belongingness along with DEI to make it really more inclusive. It's just not about DEI now, it's also about DEI and B. And of course, again, one of the speakers said, nothing special privileges for physical disability. They don't need any compassion. They're saying it should be an equal playing field. treat them equal, otherwise it becomes exclusion and not inclusion. And again, a business leader said, DI adds value to business. And one of our guests also talked about, look at every hiring opportunity as an opportunity for bringing about diversity and inclusiveness. Post-lunch, of course, we had a very interesting session where we honored the Prerna Award winners. And we really had two inspirational winners. The lady from Ladakh, who was setting up an all-women travel company. I know this for sure because I have traveled extensively. I've driven all the way from Bangalore to Ladakh and back, so I know how difficult it is in Ladakh. And to really have a woman entrepreneur promoting travel in Ladakh is a great inspiration for many other women entrepreneurs. And of course, what a unique idea about creating homes and offices sort of use containers. So truly two great unique initiatives, and thanks to Schneider for having identified those people, one in the north and one in the south, truly inclusive. And of course, what better way to drive the message of DI than through theater and arts, right? The drama where they talked about DI beyond work and office. And it was interesting when someone said we play two hats. The way we behave while at office and the way we behave at home was clearly demonstrated in the acts that was shown over here, especially the walk couple, where they talked about stereotypes, right? About how can a guy wear a pink shirt and play football? I think, and also the pun around not a delivery boy, but a delivery girl, right? These are some of the stereotypes that we have about people. And they also talked about, through the theater, change needs to start from home, right? They said, true inclusion, this sample which they talked about, stay-at-home dad, right? It was truly a very, very inspirational message that they passed about, that true inclusion comes when it starts from home. And then also they talked about the message about family man becomes Superman and play a diverse opinion over here. My personal feeling was that when they were trying to enact this scene about bringing about diversity and inclusion in the design of a car or a product, I felt that the intern was being sidelined and trying to somehow say that only experience matters. So as someone said, diversity is also about taking everybody in the committee into consideration and not sidelining anybody because of their experience. And the last one about Chai Per Charcha, where they talked about expense versus ROI, how diversity adds value to business. And then of course they also talked about diversity always latch them, right? So somewhere I think resonates with someone who said that every recruitment is an opportunity. And therefore, I think we should latch at every opportunity to latch diversity. And I think the icing on the cake was when the last person talked about, the person who was running restaurants with hearing impaired people, when he said how a parent came up to him and talked about the child being dependent on them. Now they're dependent on the child. And I think truly shows where a society has moved in terms of building an equitable society by promoting diversity and inclusiveness. I would like to thank Schneider Electric from NHRD for having given us an opportunity to partner with you in trying to address a very serious issue, not just in the workplace, but also in the society. I would like to specifically thank Binu for having reached out to me, and then of course Shikhar and the entire leadership team and the organizers of Schneider Electric for having put up such a wonderful show over here and driving home the message of how important it is that we bring about equity and diversity and inclusiveness at the workplace. And of course, thanks to my NHRD fellow colleagues and members and all the delegates for taking a day off to be here to address a very important issue in the society and the workplace. Thank you.
Thank you, Ramesh. Wow, what a day. And I'm hoping it's a day well spent for all of you. I'm fully cognizant it's a working day. It's a day just after we fulfilled one of our most important responsibility to the nation of voting. So I'm hoping we are continuing to go on that path of responsibility and take our learnings from here and spread it in our community, in our organizations, and in our personal lives, because like Ranjan said, all action begins from home. So I'm hoping that we will be able to do that. Ranjan has very well summarized the day. I think he's captured very well the learnings. I just want to thank some of the key people who've been working with us tirelessly. In addition to the NHRD team, the social media team of NHRD, you will not believe the number of people that it has taken to put up this show together. It truly takes a village to bring an event like this. I'm hoping that the slide of some of the names and photos will come up so that you will see them on screen. Okay, apparently not, but okay, I know you know that who you are, who've brought the event together. You see some of them in the room, you've seen some of them on stage, you've seen Ranjan and me on stage, but trust me, we're just doing this. Rest of the work has been done by this huge community of people from Schneider and NHRD who've brought this event together. I also want to again thank all of you, every single one of you as participants. You've traveled from different parts of Bangalore, and living in Bangalore for 23 years, I know that is not an easy feat. So thank you very much for making time, for coming here, for participating, for challenging us, for challenging yourselves, and giving us this very, very important day of your life. I also want to once again call out the NHRD team. We had the secretary of the NHRD team also here as part of the award ceremony. They have been very close collaborators with us for many, many years now. And I'm sure we get richer in our experiences every time we work together. We look forward to many such partnerships, and we look forward to your comments, questions, reach out to us. Let's keep the conversation going, and let's translate this conversation into action. Have a very good evening, and thank you once again.